Alrighty, guys. Good afternoon to you all here at Saturday, March 8th, 2025. Hope you guys are all doing well out there this afternoon to get there enjoying that weekend. It is a warm weekend across here in Kentucky. I know that for sure. We do have a different episode of different types of weather going on across the United States this weekend. We do have severe weather down in the deep south today and tomorrow. We've also got a leftover remnants of a winter storm that's kind of developing here in the Four Corners into Texas, the Texas Panhandle, into portions of western Oklahoma. There could be some isolated snow showers that kind of go drift north with this, but I'm not expecting anything overall crazy with this event. We're really going to be talking about more about a severe weather event, a robust severe weather event, as we go into next week, potentially. A lot of things still, once again, on the table for next week. A lot of different things, different ensembles, models that we're looking at to kind of get an idea on what could happen next week. We see a high ceiling event, low floor event, so that kind of is like last week where we saw the chance for a big event, and you also have the chance for a very low event if things don't, amplify or you don't get enough moisture or instability, etc. So we'll talk about that here in just a second, but I want to focus on today what's ongoing. You can see a little system up here in Washington, Northwestern Pacific, ongoing, some rain and some snow up there. You can see our low pressure system that's ongoing here across the deep south in the southern plains today. We actually had some pretty decent hail in and around the Dallas-Fort Worth area this morning. So that low pressure system is actually moving its way here to the north. It's actually going to drop down south later on this afternoon, but you can see kind of a tightening low here with moisture moving up here into Oklahoma. There is, like I said, some snow to one aspect over here in western Oklahoma and northern Texas Panhandle, but we do have showers and storms ongoing, and I do want to talk about this risk zone that's in place today. As we can see, storms are already firing off across Louisiana. These should stay mostly very isolated and marginal, clearly where that risk zone is at today. There is a 2% tornado risk today, 5% wind, and 5% hail, meaning this is a very low end risk, but don't leave your guard down. Have a way to get alerts on your phone always when you're in severe weather, whether it's on a marginal day or a high risk day or whatever. You need to have a way to those to get those alerts. And tonight we're going to kind of see things trend up a little bit. Potentially we'll see more storms ongoing later on this evening and tonight. We will be on standby for live coverage if we need to be on standby for live coverage. So I'll be on here if you guys need, or if we end up needing to get on for that. But overall today, like I said, today should mostly stay at bay. Just be very mindful of that isolated tornado risk, damaging wind, and hail threat. I'll talk about the modeling here and what we're going to see over the next 48 hours. Actually, we'll do the next 24 to 48 hours here, kind of give you guys an idea on what we're going to see. You can see here on our future cast, you can see isolated showers and storms getting going here right around lunchtime, or not lunchtime, but dinner time tonight. We should start to see more intense snowfall get going over here in the northern Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma. Most of this will stay at rain over into central and eastern Oklahoma, showers and thunderstorms ongoing across Arkansas and Mississippi. But our severe threat will ramp up later on tonight as we see kind of these low surface-based supercells that are going to try and develop after midnight tonight. And this will quickly move into Mississippi, Alabama here, the Panhandle of Florida, where we could see a brief tornado or two spin up with some damaging winds and some hail. And then as we get through tomorrow morning, that's going to shift its way into the Florida Panhandle in southern Georgia, where we do have a day 2 outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center. Panama City, Apalachicola, Tallahassee, Albany, the I-75 corridor down south through I-95 south into Jacksonville, Brunswick area have the threat. And I want to watch tomorrow. Tomorrow could be an interesting morning. If we do get some discrete cells that develop, we could see an elevated tornado risk tomorrow. I don't think it's really going to happen, just given the messy convection that we're going to be seeing all over the board tomorrow, but definitely a damaging wind and a hail threat will be possible for any storms that do in fact stay potentially severe. So we'll keep you guys updated on this. Like I said, if we need to go live for these events today through tomorrow, we'll definitely do that. I'll be on standby for that to keep you guys updated if we need to. But that's kind of in a nutshell what's going to happen. And if we want to play the radar out just a little bit later here, you guys can see when the storms are going to wrap up. You can see through tonight here, storms moving in. Could see a couple splotches of some more decent hail maybe as we're crossing into Mississippi and Alabama later on tonight after midnight, but then this system is pretty much gone by the early morning hours, and you kind of see a couple prefrontal or last minute convection pop up here in the afternoon hours before the system pops up. And we actually could see a second round of storms later tomorrow night here, maybe seeing another isolated hail damaging wind threat. So we'll keep you guys updated on this system as this low moves its way east up here into southern Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas. This will be just general rain, and then this system should start to work its way east as we go into Monday morning. So we could even see a marginal risk maybe along the coastline for Monday. So we'll talk more about that in the live stream this afternoon and through tomorrow. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a brief update on what we're going to be seeing with that. I do want to also talk about one more thing here. The Storm Prediction Center does not have anything on the outlooks for day 4 through 8 yet, but they have mentioned multiple severe weather potential probabilities coming next week as we look at the potential for a robust severe weather threat. Another thing I want to show you guys as well, this is the precip hazard outlook. And this is something that it's an experimental model, but gives us an idea of where we could see the higher risk zones for flooding, wind, severe weather. And I want you guys to really hone in on the dark green shaded area here. We could actually see some substantial flooding as we go into the 15th and 21st, through the 15th and 21st of March, across western North Carolina, southeast Kentucky. And a lot of these areas have seen a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks here. So seeing more rainfall in these areas is definitely not something that I'm, excited to see. This could be a very significant flooding risk. Once again, we'll keep you guys updated on this. Also seeing that moderate to slight risk for flooding on the coastline on the west coast there, and then an outside moderate to slight risk for flash flooding, basically from Louisiana all the way to the northeast. So we're going to have to keep you guys updated on that situation as we go through the next couple of days and next couple of weeks here. But the next thing I want to show you guys is going to talk about our severe weather threat. We'll go ahead and zoom in here so you guys can see just a little bit better. This is our GFS. The European model hasn't quite uploaded all the way through yet for the 12Z run. We'll talk more about that in the stream today and tonight. But European, a little bit of an outlier right now, potentially from what our GFS is showing. Our GFS is showing a little bit more of a moderate to high ceiling event for next week for severe weather and winter weather. European's kind of more back down to bay. It's got an issue with moisture transport with our secondary trough that's going to be moving through before this one next weekend. And we'll talk about that here as well. But you can see our low pressure system that's going to be moving this weekend across the southeast. That'll be gone off the coastline by Monday into Tuesday. And then I want you guys to pay attention to something here as we've been talking about. This little shortwave trough right here is a huge factor on if we get a significant severe weather outbreak or not next week, or even, a big major winter storm. I think the winter storm potential is definitely going to be there. As far as the severe weather aspect goes, it will be possible. Are we going to see a robust outbreak? Are we going to see anything at all? We'll kind of have to watch this shortwave trough. And this is actually going to eject across the Four Corners and into Texas as we go into Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday. And I do think there's actually a pretty good shot at a low end capping severe weather event on Wednesday afternoon. So if you live in the Mississippi Valley down through the Arklatex into East Texas, Eastern Oklahoma, you need to be watching on Wednesday afternoon and possibly overnight into Thursday for a low-end severe weather event. I wouldn't even rule out a slight risk or a marginal being issued from the Storm Prediction Center if they do see fit for this. So something we'll have to watch. This can also even move into the Kentucky, Tennessee Valley as we go into Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So we'll keep you guys updated on that if SPC posts anything on that. And then we see our major troughing come through, and this, guys, is going to be potentially a historic storm here, and that's based off of barometric pressure. We could see this thing drop to 969, 970 millibars is what the GFS has got. That would break the record that we just had last week for a 980 millibar trough ejection over literally 3 days ago. So we're going to have to watch this. This is also bringing a lot of potential moisture and instability as far north as Minnesota and Wisconsin, all the way down to the deep south. So a very wide open corridor potentially for severe weather next week, if not significant severe weather, with this mid-latitude cyclone that's going to develop and work its way off on the northeast. Now, there also will be a very strong wind gradient with that low. When you see a deepening low that bombs out over the plains once again, you typically get very high wind gusts just associated with the front coming through. So that's another thing we're going to have to watch. And then there will be snow and cold air that's wrapped around the backside of this, giving us probably blizzard conditions as we go to Friday and Saturday. And then we're going to see kind of another little dip in the jet stream here. And you can see a surface low tries to develop over Louisiana, giving us a more robust severe weather threat for Saturday. So Friday and Saturday are my days that I'm really watching next week for significant severe weather, maybe even a severe weather event, an outbreak potentially if things do come together. Once again, we're going to have to watch moisture. We're going to have to watch instability, and I'll kind of walk you guys through that here in just a second. And then you can see as we go into the rest of March here, very, very active pattern potentially on tap as we go through the rest of the month and even into April potentially as we see that happen. Now, another thing I want to show you guys here is going to be those dew points. This gives us a really good idea of moisture return, which is what you need for severe weather. And that moisture return, you can see, if we go into next week here, early next week, you can see that little shortwave trough pulling up enough moisture for a low-end severe weather risk down here to the Mississippi Valley, maybe, like I said, into the Arklatex or the southeast. And then we go into our bigger event, and I want you guys to see this, right? Typically, you need dew points up here into the upper 60s, low mid 60s, upper 50s to get significant severe weather, especially for March. We're going to have very much a very good synoptic forcing, or just forcing in general with our low that's going to develop that could actually lead to an isolated severe weather threat, even though our dew points may not be super, super impressive. So something we really need to watch. I do expect more of a robust severe weather event down here in the southern plains and into portions of the Mississippi Valley and the Dixie Valley area. And then this will more than likely shift into the Tennessee Valley and Ohio Valley as we go into Friday afternoon and Saturday. Look at those dew points in the GFS pushing all the way up the 60s into Indiana and Illinois. So more of a higher ceiling event. If this happens, we're going to watch this. We know we're still 6 to 7 days out. So this could trend up, this could trend down. We've got to see what our European and our Icon and our other ensembles are going to do as well. But this is definitely a scenario that you don't want to see happen if you don't like severe weather. Just something we're going to really have to watch here. And this gives us another idea as well of what we could see precip-wise. You can see our snow moving into Texas and Oklahoma tonight. and then severe weather and thunderstorm activity ongoing through the southeast over the next 48 to 72 hours. Then we do have an Alberta Clipper system that's going to move across the southern Canada line along Minnesota and North Dakota there, giving us an isolated snow shower or two. And then we get into late next week here, and we start to see that little shortwave trough, which I'm watching for maybe an isolated severe weather threat on Wednesday night into Thursday. And then we see our major system move through. And guys, this is just super, super impressive for the month of March. If we do get a 968 barometric pressure reading level millibar low here, this would be a lot of wind. This is going to bring a lot of wind regardless of the severe weather aspect of this. And you can see cold air wrapping in. We'd have blizzard conditions on the northwestern side of this, and your severe weather threat could extend, like I said, for a lot of people from the plains to the southeast to the northern Midwest here for potential significant severe weather. And you can actually see as that system moves in, we get that moisture transport issue once again, giving us maybe a threat for severe weather in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois there. Then I want you to see that secondary low that's going to develop and potentially more robust severe weather event on Saturday from the Ohio Valley down into the southeast, and then that system would move out east. Cold air could settle in a little bit behind this, and then we kind of go again with another system down the road. So a lot to figure out and a lot to talk about over the next 5 to 6 days as we get more and more closer to this event happening. Hopefully we get some downtrends. That would be some good news. But right now, we're kind of in the middle on a lot of different suggestions. So I'll keep you guys updated. We will have a live stream on TikTok, as always, for you guys that watch over there going through the next couple days. We're going to kind of hold up on our live streams here on YouTube for just a little bit until we kind of get more in depth on what's going to happen next week. But make sure you guys stay tuned over there as well. And we will see you guys in the next one.